What's going on, guys? Today's the day. I think we're finally going to do these head pipes that we've decided to put on before going to Daytona. We're going to start with just a little sound check on what the original sound like. Hopefully it picks up a little bit of it. I never really get a good sounding system whenever I hear any other videos. There's the other bike, by the way. So we'll get this one started up. Hopefully you can hear a little bit of it. It's got some good sound, good pressure. It is a Bassani cone pipes. They look really good. I think they sound good. Hopefully they'll get a little bit more once we get the head pipes switched out, so no catalytic converters. We'll get a good idea. Everybody can get a good sound of this. Give it just a little bit. That's a pretty good sound check. Give you a good idea what it sounds like before. A lot of it's more performance based on the other side of that anyway. So take us a little bit. Hopefully we'll see how long this takes me to do it by myself with no assistance from anybody and minimal instructions, because the instructions that came with the head pipes aren't all that great. So we'll let this cool off again and we will get to work. And I'll check in with you guys here and there to give you updates and show you what my process is and see how everything goes. All right, guys, here's the tools that I used. Nothing too hard to find. So we're going to start with a rubber mallet. I would keep it just in case, because sometimes things don't want to move. A nice socket wrench, flathead screwdriver, 5/8 wrench, 1/2 inch wrench, 8mm socket, a 9/16 socket, and a 1/2 inch socket. I believe that's an 8mm Allen wrench and some extensions, a good pair of dikes, wire cutters, whatever you want to call them, anti-seize, a wire brush, and then a nice little Amazon pipe wrench. Helps adjust the exhaust pipes in case you got leaks like we did. Spend a little extra time working on that. Now, these are the key tools. A few other ones that are handy just in case. A nice crescent wrench. And then if you have any other wrenches that you like using, it definitely isn't a bad thing to have around. But generic tools, basic tools, nothing special. I mean, the most special thing is that most people can't find is this Amazon special $8 pipe wrench. Other than that, everything is really simple. All right, guys. Whenever you decide to put this back together, you don't need to coat the entire top of a bolt with blue Loctite. Just a little bit goes a long way, because I'm 260 and having a hard time breaking through all the blue Loctite that they had put on, and you can hear it coming on out. Not comfortable to hear if you've never worked on bikes before, but definitely one of those things that you got to work with. So now we're going through, got the floorboard off. And like I said, please guys, don't use that much blue Loctite. Just a dab works. So now I'm just working around getting all the heat shield screws loose. And I am leaving them in so that I don't have to try to figure out the adjustment on it or which way they were in there or anything like that. So I can put it right back on and have it nice and easy. Once you get it broken loose, you can really just use your fingers, get it opened up. And then that's what I'm working on now, and we'll get to the next step and we'll bring you guys back and show you where we're at. All right, so now we got the heat shields off. I got the one muffler that I got to take off because this head pipe uses the stock crossover, so that won't need any adjustments to it. I need to get this last little bracket off here, holds in that pipe, and then we'll be moving in to the bolts heading into the cylinders on both sides. This is the tricky side because you can't fit nothing underneath there. And then we'll check back in with you at that point and show you what it looks like. All right, guys, had a little bit more trouble getting the cross member off. Had to take off the other side exhaust and loosen the bracket that holds everything on underneath to get those separated. Now what I'm doing is I'm getting the retention clips off of the top of the head pipes. And all you really need to do is get a screwdriver and just get it over the little lip and force it over. And then you can pull it off. Then you're gonna reuse these on the second part. But as you can see, got the head pipes off, got the O2 sensors out of the head pipes. Those transfer over. The black tip goes to the back head. The white tip goes to the front head. If you got a newer bike, the white head is actually longer. So you don't have to worry about it so much because you'll know because it's long enough to actually reach the front. And then now we're gonna start the process of switching over the head pipes and we'll get going here and hopefully it won't take too much longer. And we're back. So now we got the new head pipe in. As you can see, nice and shiny. Got rid of the catalytic converter. A little bit better of a chamber for the catalytic converters. And we're gonna have some of our neighbors drive by, so. Hold on a sec. Hi. Now, the cross member went back in a little bit easier with some assistance from my beautiful wife. And we got the knock sensor and O2 sensors, or whatever the sensors are, rerun back out and plugged back in. It's still loose because we don't want to tighten it up until we get everything on. And then we'll tighten everything on and it'll pull everything together and make it nice and tight. We didn't run into any serious complications other than not taking off the other side so far. So in the future, if you ever do it, take off the other side, it makes it easier. So now we're gonna get the rest of the exhaust put on and then tighten everything up. And then we'll test run it a little bit before I put all the heat shields on because that would be annoying to take back off. And then we'll let you know see how it sounds and we'll go from there. See you guys soon. All right, as we're starting to tighten up the head pipes, I forgot to mention that don't just start on your front cylinder and start cranking down on each bolt. You gotta cycle back and forth. That way it kind of sucks it in properly and you're not making the washer or the seal cockeyed. If you just tighten down one bolt and then go to the next bolt, it's gonna make it all cockeyed and you're gonna have exhaust leaks. So we're almost there. Getting the last few bolts tightened up, getting everything settled, and then we'll come back to you and get the sound and everything with the heat shields off and no floorboards on. That way everybody can kind of hear it. And I can make sure I don't have any exhaust leaks and I can make sure that everything's good. And we'll be back in a few minutes. All right, guys, got everything tightened up, lowered the bike down so it doesn't shake off my little jack stand here. But I got everything tightened up, don't have the floorboards, don't have the heat shields on, haven't put the bags back on. That exhaust looks a whole lot better. Doesn't look like there's gonna be any backup in that. And of course the back end looks the same because it's the same exhaust pipes. So now let's go through the first startup and see what we get for some feedback, check for some codes. Make sure, see if we like the sound. And now to me it still already sounds a little bit throatier. And like I was saying, the majority of this is performance based, not blocking up the motor. It does sound a little louder, not much louder, but definitely can feel a little bit more air sucking out of there too. From behind the motor. Now, try to piss some of the neighbors off, get some sound out of here. Action. All right, guys, we were back. It's been a couple days. So when we started the bike the other day, we found out there was an exhaust leak at this clamp in the back. However, my microphone cut out. We also had some friends stop by that are all from the neighborhood. Bob's Garage, for all of you guys, definitely go check his channel out. He lives right up the street from us, and he's also a really good friend of ours. So just to go over it again, we're going to do the bike startup. Hopefully you get a good sound. And we'll go from there. Let's take a listen. Definitely has a good sound. Definitely a little bit throatier, a little deeper for me. I can definitely hear it vibrating since it's up in the garage, so it's got to have some good volume to it. Give you guys a few revs. Definitely has a lot of volume to it when you get it up to that 4,000 RPMs. Definitely sounds amazing to my ear. I like the way it sounds. Hopefully the performance is right on par with that. It should add a little bit more power. So I'm going to adjust this clamp down here, get rid of this exhaust leak, and then I'm going to get the heat shields put back on, floorboard back on, and then we'll show you all the tools we ended up using so you kind of have a good idea. Probably edit that in the beginning. Either way, we'll show you what it looks like, and then we'll show you the finished product, and then hopefully in the next couple of days I'll be able to get out and ride. Currently it's a little rainy here, so once I'm able to get out on a ride, I'll give you guys some feedback on it, and we'll go from there. See you guys shortly. All right, guys, we're finally done. 2 days, about 4.5 hours worth of total work, but finally all back together. Nothing leaking, nothing missing, no extra parts. Does look right back to stock except for the exhaust pipes, because the stock heat shields go right back on over it. Everything's tightened back down. Probably should have showed you guys the tab of blue Loctite that I put on the foot controls, but just a little bit goes a long way. Looks awesome. Sounds good. I'll start it up here in just a minute and give you guys a sound. Just giving you a good walk around. Sorry about the lighting. A little later in the evening, and it's also nice and rainy here. See all the wet ground. So now back to the pipes. Sounds good. Feels good. Job is finally done. So let's give you that final startup. See what it sounds like. Has a nice low purr to it. No rattling. No loose pins on the front end and the heat shields. Everything's back on nice and smooth. Let's see if these microphones back here will pick up with all the bright lights. Now, I'm a good distance away. You can still feel the pressure building up on the bike, and it sounds good from this distance. Give you a couple of final revs. Overall, not too bad of an experience putting on the Bassani head pipes. It is my first set of Bassani head pipes. Our other bike, the 2013 Street Glide, has S&S head pipes with a different crossover. Pretty nice setup. But the Bassani full set, I think, sounds really good for this Milwaukee 8. And she's almost ready to go to Daytona. A few more accessories to put on. Stuff we got over here. Some new hand grips, hand guards. A few other things to put on for the bike. But overall, I'm really happy with it, and it sounds really good. Thanks for coming along, guys, and I hope you enjoyed the shit show. It is fun to mess around a little bit and show the mistakes and kind of let you guys watch me struggle. And I do enjoy working on bikes, so best of both worlds here. You guys get a good laugh, maybe a little insight on working on bikes. And if you know me at all, you know that you can do it too, because I'm not the brightest crown in the box. I'll talk to you guys later.